Hi, let us understand the next tag libraries, that is set and import from Jstl core tag libraries. Let me go ahead and create a JSP. Let me name the JSP as core _2 _ import.jsp. Here we are going to learn about the import of Jstl. Let me change the title and I'm going to add reference to the core tag libraries. Import tag libraries is used to import content from any URI, and it could be a website of type HTML, or I can import a file of any type like text, XML, and I can further use it for any further processing or parsing. Let me go ahead and have a small demo. So I'm using the import tag libraries where I am providing a variable and the URL. The content of this specific URL, in this case it's going to be of type HTML, it will get stored in this specific variable. And I can use this out and print this particular variable, and this is of type expression language. We will discuss about expression language in future session. This expression language will facilitate us to use the variable and assign the variable to any value of any out tag. So the content of this particular website, that is google.com, will get assigned to this particular variable and it will get printed. Let me go ahead and execute this specific JSP. So the entire HTML content of Google will get printed over here. This will be very useful whenever I wanted to read any text file or any XML file from the server for any further processing. The next tag library that we are going to see is set. Let me go ahead and create a JSP. I'm going to name the file as core _3 _ set.jsp. Let me rename the title and add reference to the tag libraries. Here I am going to use the set tag libraries. Set will be used to assign any value to a variable which can be used for different scope. The possible scopes are page, request, session and application. As we had seen earlier, the application scope will be used across the application and session for the entire session of that specific browser and user, and request for that specific request, and page is like this variable in Java and can be used only in that specific page context. Now let me go ahead and add a set variable. I can ignore this scope as well. In that case, it will be using the page scope for that specific page. Here I am assigning a value of value 1 into the variable. Let me go ahead and print this particular variable using out. So from out, I am getting the page scope variable 1, the one that I have used to assign, and printing the variable. Now let me go ahead and execute this JSP. So the value 1 is getting printed. Now let us see sample for assigning it to different scopes. I'm going to have different variables assigning for different scope. So I'm having the variable 2 for scope request, variable 3 for scope session, and variable 4 for scope application. Whatever the scope I wanted to access, I need to use it as a part of the out tag to get those variables. Let me get the value of those variables. That is, to access request scope, I will be using the term request scope dot the variable name, and I'm using the expression language. Expression language, generally it will be enclosed with a flower bracket prefixed with a dollar symbol. So I'm able to access all these 4 variables. Now let me go ahead and use the default scope and how to use that specific variable. So here I am setting a variable simple var with the value simple value. I have not mentioned the scope. So the default is page scope and it will get assigned. I can access the variable directly without mentioning any scope. The same place, let me go ahead and use a sample for the application scope and use that for the application counter. So here I am using a variable called app counter. The scope is application. In the sense, for all the pages, this particular variable will be accessible for all the servlets, and the value I'm going to get incremented by 1 and it will get assigned to this particular variable. So what happens? The value of this particular app counter will get incremented whenever I am accessing this particular page. And I can access the application scope and print this particular variable. I can have this as a part of any header or footer code so that all the page which are having that particular header or footer will be accessed and the counter will keep on getting increased. By that way, I can count the page count. Let me go ahead and execute this specific JSP. So the app counter is 1. Let me go ahead and execute it once again. Now it is 2. The same JSP, I am accessing it from another browser. The counter got increased from 2 to 3. Now let me access this page from the earlier browser I used. It is maintaining the value as 4. So across the servlets, across the session, the counter will be maintained. And the biggest advantage of using the tag library is I can avoid the scriptlet. The code will be very easy to maintain as well. So in a quick summary, we had seen how to use the set tag libraries and import tag libraries. As a part of set tag libraries, we had seen how to use different scopes and access those variables as well.